Let me show you how to simplify this complex multiple square root. All right. So we have been given a general square root of what? 160p squared plus another square root of what? 71p raised to power 4 plus another square root of what? 100 raised to power what? 100p raised to power 8. And we have been given these options. So let's just break it down. This is solution. Now, what we'll do here is to start from this smaller, the internal smaller square root. Now, for us to have that, if we want to simplify that, this is 100 p raised to power 8. Is the same thing as what? Square root of 100 times what? Square root of what? P raised to power 8. All right? Now, the square root of 100 is what? 10 times the square root of p raised to power 8. Don't forget, this square root is what? 1 over 2. So it's just like saying p raised to power 8 times 1 over 2. All right? Now, 2 we divide 2, 1. 2 we divide 8, which is 4. So we have 10p raised to power what? 4. This 10 times p raised to power 4, which is 10p raised to power 4. So we have, if we take the square root of this, we have what? 10p raised to power 4. So now we have to write that here. 160 p raised to power 2 plus, okay, 71p raised to power 4 plus 10p raised to power 4. All right. Now we have to add both of them together. So in adding these two together, it's just to add the numbers and take one of what? One of the variable and the power. So we have the general square root of 160 p raised to power 2 plus 71 plus 10 is what? The square root of what? 81, and p raised to power what? 4. All right. Now we have to look for the square root of this. The same what we applied here is the same thing we're going to do here. All right. So we'll look for the square root of what? 81 and the square root of what? P raised to power 4. Looking for the square root of p raised to power 4, you simply divide the power by what? 2. That was what we did here. We divide the power 8 by 2. So we simply divide the power 4 by 2. So when we do that, we have what? This is the square root of what? 160 p raised to power 2 plus the square root of 8 is what? 9. Because 9 times 9 is 81. It is 9. And the square root of p raised to power 4 is what? P raised to power 2. So at this stage, we just add and look for the square root. So in adding this together, we have what? The square root of 160 plus 9, we have 169. All right. Then you take one of the variables with the power, which is what? P squared. Now, we're going to apply the same method here to this, such that we look for the square root of 139, and we look for the square root of what? P raised to power 2. And when we look for the square root of p raised to power 2, we only divide the power with what? Use 2 to divide the power. And if 2 divide 2, we are left with what? 1. So the square root of 169 is what? 13. And when we look for the square root of p raised to power 2, 2 divide 2 is 1. So we are left with what? P. So our answer is what? 13p. And this is our final answer. Let's see if we have any option there. So this option C is our correct answer. I hope this is well understood. Please, if you have any question, let me know in the comment section. And don't forget to share this video so that other people can learn.